we're going to have some fun today. Let's have some fun. Let's get a little granular. How's that sound? All right. So the question today is, do you need a Facebook business page? There's going to be a couple answers there. And it's important for you to listen to the whole thing to understand both answers, okay? Because it depends on what kind of business you are. So let's get at it, friends. First things first, you guys can win things. I don't know if you knew that. If you did, cool. If not, all you do is subscribe to my YouTube channel, comment on my YouTube videos, which is pretty easy to do because I usually ask you questions, and then share the YouTube video to social media and just tag me in it. And that sounds complicated. You're like, oh, there's so many steps. I feel like there's algebra going in front of your face. Really, it's like this. So you're watching this video, watch it on YouTube, comment on the video, and then share the video into some social media and tag me in it. Super easy. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, as the kids say. All right. And when I say kids, I mean like actual 4-year-olds. I don't mean like the high school kids. I mean 4-year-olds. Okay, I see you guys over in the live chat. I am going to swing back around whenever I am done with my content, and I'm going to put you guys up on screen where you belong. Doggone it. You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and get at it. Is it necessary, or do you need to have a Facebook business page? So whenever I started, what feels like eons ago and is an embarrassing amount of time at this point, I feel like the internet was in its infancy. So crazy that we're still in the beginning stages of the internet. Isn't that crazy to think about? Like whenever the TV came around, I swear I'm going to get back to topic, I will. But when the TV came around in the very beginning, you know, it was like this box, and it was difficult to use and all of that stuff. Well, that was the internet in the very beginning too. And then it got easier and better and better and better and better, whatever. I guess some people could say better or worse. Depends on what you're talking about. But anyway, that's a whole nother video for a whole nother time. But the internet's kind of like that. And we're really only, 25 years-ish? 26. Between 25 and 30 years into the internet, even being around. So do you guys realize what an amazing position you guys are in? I think some of us we live in such a, we live with our blinders on, and we don't pay attention to the opportunity that we have right now. And we don't really look at this opportunity in comparison to what was not available before. Instead, you get caught up in other people's narratives and stories about now, and then you're like, oh, this is bad, and this is bad, and this is bad. I don't know. Maybe you're not looking at it right. But it's an amazing opportunity that we have. And we're in an amazing time where there aren't a lot of, and some would argue this, and I get it, where there aren't a lot of restrictions. So some people would be like, well, there are a lot of restrictions, Martha. Just try to post something, you know, da-da-da. What I'm saying is this. We don't have a lot of restrictions, right? Like when on your website, on your email marketing, on your SMS or text marketing, you don't have a lot of restrictions. Really, if you get everything set up properly, you don't even need the social media channels. You can bring people in and attract people with social media channels, but you don't really even need it. So where are the restrictions? You can, and this is how we've become multimillionaires, guys, is by we work in the gray area. We built an empire in the gray. And that's what we teach people how to do. Real quick, I'm just going to say this. That's HBR. I'm only going to say this because we just went through it, and then I'm going to keep moving. Here's how you get into HBR. You guys, no joke, it's going out to 10K very, 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 very soon. Okay? Jump in for $14.97 for the love, guys. I mean, I'm okay if you jump in at 10K later, but gosh, why would you? Get in at $14.97 so you don't have to pay more later. That's just how I feel. But go to Livin the Dream with Martha. That's my Facebook business page. Message me the words, let's do this, rainbows and unicorns. Fun fact, My family dressed up as rainbows and unicorns last night. The humans were unicorns and the dogs were rainbows. We were rainbows and unicorns last night. Go check out my personal Facebook page and see a picture of that. It was a total riot. So there's that. Now let's talk about, so that's the opportunity side of things. Now let's get into the granular part of things, okay? So Facebook business page. Is a Facebook business page even necessary? There's only two reasons why it would be necessary, okay? One reason is if you plan on running ads, okay? That's for the most part, the only reason that it's actually necessary is if you plan on running ads. Now, if you're in HBR, Home-Based Revolution, which is what I was just talking about, I tell you how to build that blueprint in the gray without ads. So we don't spend money on ads or anything, okay, guys? Just so you know, that's like unheard of in marketing to not spend money on, like it's unheard of. But we don't spend money on ads. So you need a Facebook business page if you're going to run ads. Now, if you're a service-based business, if you do like, chiropractic, if you're a dentist, things like that, there are some people in that space that they like to run ads for lead magnets because it's very easy to target local traffic in order to be able to grow your stuff. So if you're a service-based business or a product-based business, you may want to grab it just in case you want to throw ads on it. And I'm assuming that you're not running HBR because even still, you won't need ads, okay? But if you're just watching this video and you're like, well, I'm not in HBR and I don't plan on it for whatever reason, I don't know why it's really silly, but if you, for whatever reason, you don't plan on it, then you're probably going to run ads at some point because it's the only way you're going to be able to get traffic is to pay for it. Okay? Now, I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole of don't goof off with your ads. The world of ads right now, as opposed to the world of ads 2 months ago, is very, very different. Okay? There's a couple of very profound things that have happened in the market, and it has increased the costs per acquisition, which means the cost per client, the cost per lead, all of those things by at least 2x. So if you were paying $5 for a lead before, now you're paying 10. If you were paying $50 for a lead before, which is not unheard of, you're now paying 100, depending on your market. Then now you're paying 100. Okay, that's what you're looking at with your cost on ads. So don't come into this industry and start thinking like, oh, I'm going to run ads. This is how I'm going to win. Careful, you could go broke. Okay. It's so much better to do it organically because if you're bringing people in organically, there's a loyalty there and there's a relationship there that you just don't get with ads. Okay. That's just true. All right. So, ads would be one reason that you need a Facebook business page. Excuse me, something in my throat. The other reason for wanting, I suppose, a Facebook business page is sheer SEO. If you don't know what SEO is, it's search engine optimization. It's literally how you push your identity, your brand, to the top of the Google or the search engine results. Okay? So a Facebook business page obviously has better SEO than your personal page. Your business page is always going to be more than your personal page. Instagram pages have terrific SEO. A friend of mine, Steve Sims, he even talks about how your Instagram page is actually great for people to go to from an SEO standpoint because they don't have to be logged into Instagram to view your stuff. You know how you click on a thing from Facebook and it makes you log into Facebook? So if people don't have a Facebook, they're not actually going to see your stuff. See how that goes? I was a little sidetracked there, but I want you guys to know it. And Steve's great, by the way. I'm going to see him in a couple days. But hey, Steve, if you're watching, I'll tag you so you do. So So yeah, that's what we're looking at on a Facebook business page. Those are really the only two reasons to have it, is an SEO standpoint, and also you need it. You can't not have it if you're going to be running ads, okay? Now, from an SEO standpoint, what you're looking to do on your Facebook business page is really, it's supposed to work as kind of a brochure of sorts that then leads people over to your website. Okay, so you get them curious enough to then come over to your website, where you then have the whole enchilada, where they can see all of the different things that you do and all of that stuff, right? That's the goal of the Facebook business page. And in case you don't understand really the value of SEO, I'm like a total SEO nerd. I started my whole business, my agency, everything back in 2016 with straight SEO. I have a weird understanding. It's like an uncanny cellular knowledge of SEO. Like, I understand when algorithms change, and I can see the change in the algorithm, like a Google algorithm. Whew, try to say that 3 times fast. I'm not going to. I can see a change in that algorithm before Google even announces it happened. Okay, so like that's how I understand SEO. But when people are looking for an answer to a question, okay, they're going to type it into Google, and then it's going to start getting results. Here's the deal, is Google is only going to serve up results that are relevant. And the way that Google determines that a result is relevant is that people go to this place and then spend a good amount of time in that place, and sometimes dig into different pages and stuff like that. Okay, so that's like a basic, just overall understanding of the algorithm. Now, if we were to look into the why of that, which is really the best thing to look at when we're talking about SEO, I'm totally taking an SEO nosedive right now. Sorry, guys. If you're interested in SEO, here's where you get a nerd talking about something they love, and this is what happens, okay? But if you understand the why behind the algorithm, then you get it, and you can see it, all the better, okay? And so the why behind the algorithm, you guys, is this. Google makes money how? Well, now there's many ways, right? The biggest way that they make money is from ads, okay? Well, why would people advertise on Google? The reason people would advertise on Google is because there are people on Google and people using Google. So why don't you use Ask Jeeves anymore? Why don't you use Yahoo anymore? Right? Why don't you use any of those other search engines? Why is it now that when you want to search something, it's like a verb is to Google something? Right? And so what I'm saying is, all of the people are on Google. The reason that all of the people are on Google and using Google as a search is because they get what they're looking for. Ask Jeeves was a terrible search engine. I think Dogpile was a search engine way back. Netscape. I'm dating myself now. Yahoo is awful. I'm sorry, Yahoo. You're awful, though. And so whenever people are not getting what they want on a search engine, they're going to go away from it. They're going to stop using it. So Google keeps changing its algorithm to make sure that people aren't gaming the system, and they're actually good, relevant content. So when Google serves up content to you, aside from ads, of course, but when Google serves up content for you, it's giving you its best guess on precisely what you're looking for. Okay? So that's the SEO game. And so what you would try to do on your Facebook business page is you would make sure you would have terms in there that your person is calling what they need from you. Did you hear that? Write that down. What your person is calling what they need from you, what your person is naming, what they are wording, what they need from you. Okay? Those are the type of terms that you're going to use in your description and in your content of your Facebook business page. So without going too far into it, my word, without already going far into it, I suppose, those are the 2 reasons you need a Facebook business page. And if you don't want to run ads, don't. I don't. And if you want to have that SEO pop, then go ahead and use it for an SEO pop, right? And you can even have your Instagram set to port info over into your Facebook business page, and you don't really even need to think about it. It just exists, right? You just put in your description and all of that stuff, and it just exists, all right? So any questions about that, feel free to put them into the chat. This has been a fun talk. I didn't even know I was going to jump off on SEO, but there we go. That's what you do. When somebody loves what they do, they will do that. So let's talk about what you guys are saying. I also wanted to say super quick, today's content is from Cindy Dement. So thank you, Cindy. I have a team that helps me with my own content, the titles of what I'm going to be talking about. They can help you with the titles as well. Just go up to my business strategist. There's a link in the description of this video. You get a full-on hour with them, and you come up with a year of your content that works for you, that is going to convert your people into paying clients. Sound fair? That's what we do. All right, so yes, we are dating ourselves. Amanda, oh my gosh, Dogpile, that was such a terrible search engine and the name was so unattractive. I know, right? Dogpile, like, come on. Oh, you could tell there was just a bunch of teenage boys at the helm, you know? Jenny, love your mug. Oh, thank you. Yes, it's my Give Me Jesus mug. Got this at Doxology in downtown Winter Garden, Florida. Misty, thank you, Cindy. Oh, yeah. Cindy just crushed it today. What does SEO stand for? Oh, and Misty already took care of it. Thank you. Search engine optimization. That's it. Steve is pretty awesome. Let's get that up there. He's going to like seeing that. Andrea, rainbows and unicorns for Halloween. Love it. Oh, it's good stuff. You guys, you have the best day ever. See you later. Bye-bye.